I'm live. I've got to figure out how to put this up here. I think a whole bunch of people are going to be joining. So let me try to get my video straight. Hi, everybody. You can see my messy office. I'm going to go back to YouTube on my computer, and I'm going to pull up the chat there so that I can actually see what's going on, because I'm not sure if I'll be able to see your live chat. There we go. I can see chatting. I'm so excited. Let's get this over here so I can see you guys. So got 5 people. Please say hi while you're logging on. Hi, Melissa. I'm so excited to have everybody. I'm so excited for this knit along. I have not done YouTube in a really long time, and so I'm sorry that I'm like 4 minutes late, but I really did try. Hi, Lori. To get this on time, in between dyeing. Oh my goodness, I was just dyeing yarn like 5 seconds ago. Can you tell I'm like all sweaty? Hi, Lois. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for joining. Hi, Shauna. So I'm just gonna wait a few minutes. I cannot tell you how excited, hi Kim, how excited I am that you guys are joining me for this 4-day knit along again. Lisa's here as well. Last year we had so much fun. I made so many good friends. I had so much fun with everybody. I learned a lot. I got to know a lot of the knitting community. I feel like I've got a closer connection with everybody more now than I ever have in the past. So this year we are doing things a little bit different. Before we used to participate on Facebook and Instagram, and of course we're still going to do that. That's fun. But I have decided to make it a little bit more interactive. And so at the end of this, I will be giving you details on how to join the knit along with me if you decide that you would like to use lolodidit yarn, which I hope that you are. Because I'm telling you, if this is your first sweater ever, this is perfect. If you are a seasoned sweater knitter, this is perfect, because what we're all doing is we're coming together and sharing our knowledge and having fun with something that is our passion. So I'm so excited for all of you to join. I just saw somebody, I have a cart full. Okay, yay, thank you so much. So this will be a lot of fun. So the first thing is Murray sent out an email a couple days ago saying we could share the photo and share our samples as of May 28th, which is today. And honestly, I couldn't wait at all. I had to share everything. As soon as this morning, I couldn't even sleep. So I got up at 3:30 and was like, okay, everybody's gonna do the knit along now. I was a crazy person. So I've been awake all day, running on caffeine. And of course, we're still doing everything else. You know, we're still packing our clubs and all of that stuff. So we're having a lot of fun here. So I know I am too, Ginger. I'm so excited. I love YouTube Live. Why don't I do this more often? You guys have to talk me into it. I always have to psych myself out to do these YouTubes. Thanks, Stacy. So here we go. I'm going to show you everything that I possibly can about this sweater. I'm going to show you what I've been working on, what I recommend. You can see it now, Susan. It's right here. Hi, Megan. So I'm going to just jump right in. So this sweater I have been working on, like basically just on the weekends, but this is the sweater. I'm going to stand up. It is gorgeous. It is so much fun. I really, really, really enjoyed the yoke on this. It really is something that, hi, Carol. It's really something that any level of knitter can do. She utilizes slip stitches. So this is something that if you are an advanced beginner or an adventurous knitter, join us, because in our group, and I know all over the place on Facebook and Instagram and all of that, a lot of knitters are knitting this together. And so this is a great opportunity to ask questions, but it is so beautiful. I am using my yarn-based Divine Yak, and it is the squishiest, most amazing yarn base. This is the second sweater that I've knit on Divine Yak, and I'm in love. I want all of my DK weight sweaters out of this. So this is the Naked Divine Yak. So this is not dyed, but it was so beautiful when I got it. When I first got my very first sample, I was like, I have got to knit a sample out of the Naked because it is so pretty. And you can see, like, there are variegations within the blending of the yarn. It's just so pretty. So I knew I had to do it. And when this sweater came out, I thought this is the perfect opportunity. And then any sophisticated tonal would be really, really pretty in the contrast color. I chose our brand new colorway that I call Elida, which is a really pretty red. And it's really deep. This is actually showing up a lot brighter on this screen than it is in real life. This is like a really deep red. Yeah, right, Sean? I was showing earlier, I had a Zoom with just my knit along people who have already signed up. And the lighting was terrible. And on YouTube, this is so much better. So this is more true to color, if just a slightly lighter. It's really pretty. So this is the one that I made. I highly recommend the Naked Divine Yak and pairing it with a sophisticated tonal or a brighter tonal color, or more like a more vibrant tonal color, because it's so gorgeous. And a ton of people have already picked their colors for this. So let me go ahead. I actually have a list here. Sorry for the crinkling. I have a list here of all of the stuff that I want to go over. Oh, thank you, Trisha. Yeah, it's just, you will want to squish this. And the people who've already gotten the yarn, I know Carol, who is in here, has already caked up their yarn because you really just want to squish it and feel it. So this sweater is 2 colors, so you absolutely can play with colors. It's a great opportunity to be creative. It's a great opportunity to express yourself. And really choose the colors that suit you and your personality. Kim, is it itchy? Oh no, this is like the furthest thing from itchy possible. It's, if you have ever touched 100% Superwash merino, this is even softer than that. So think of, yak is similar to cashmere, and similar style, plus this has silk in it. So 30% of this yarn base is silk and yak. It's fantastic. So that's amazing. So you will love it. So let me go over all of the things that I have in my list, and then I'll keep looking at the chat, and you absolutely can ask questions, but I will also take questions at the end. So don't hesitate to ask. I'm a yarn squizzer. Me too. Me too. So firstly, let's talk about swatching, gauge, and your measurements. So since this is a 2-color shawl, let me put this down so I'm like, my hands aren't up here. Since this is a 2-color sweater, you will want to swatch in both colors. The reason being is because you want to see how they work up. You want to see what they look like. You want to see how they block together, and if you like them together and things like that. A lot of people recommend swatching in both colors to see if they are color fast. So let me just dispel this. As far as lolodidit goes, we are so incredibly careful with your experience. We want you to have the best experience possible. And I'm not saying that I'm not human and I don't make mistakes, because I definitely do. But we really, really try to make sure that if your color is not completely clear in the water on the 3rd rinse, we don't sell it. It does not get out of our hands. So we are sure that the color that you're getting is color fast, that you can wash it with. You know, a lot of people had questions about the naked yarn. This is like one of my top questions through email. You don't have to worry about that. As long as you follow the instructions on the tags, you will be fine. If you want more in-depth detail on blocking, taking care of your yarn, taking care of your sweaters, and what happens when it bleeds, you know, if it does bleed, I have a link all the way at the bottom of my website called Yarn Care, and it's just a blog post, but it's about what we do here at lolodidit, our process, what we want you to experience at home, how to swatch, what the purpose is, what blocking does, and all of that. So it's a really, really great resource for you. If you read that and you still have questions, you can always email me. I'm always available. I usually respond within 1 business day. If you know me, if you've been messaging me, you know it's usually faster than that. So I'm really careful. I really want you to have a great experience. That doesn't mean that you might not get a little bit of a tinge of color in the water. That's pretty normal on really intense colors. You might get a little soft baby pink in the water. It's not going to affect the naked yarn or the light colored yarn next to it. It's really just the excess dye that's coming off. It's very similar to when you get a new pair of jeans and like the blue rubs off on your favorite white purse or your white tennis shoes. It's really similar to that. It's not bleeding. If it were bleeding, literally you could like put your hand under the water with the yarn there and you would see like dye running off of your hand if it was not set. That's just excess, and that will stop happening after the first few washes. So that's not a concern. So if you have any other concerns about yarn care or swatching or the color fastness, you can just reach out to me. So let's talk about swatching specifically. Quite a few people have asked me, do I need to swatch for this sweater? Yes, I really recommend that you do. Swatching takes an hour or two, and you're going to be spending, 60 plus hours on this sweater. The yarn isn't cheap. This is an investment. And so if you want to have a sweater that fits you beautifully and you love wearing and it's one of your favorites and you're investing a lot of time, money, and energy into this, I highly suggest spending that 1 to 2 hours to make sure that you get the sweater that you want. So I hope that makes sense. But it's just an hour or two. Make sure that you measure before you block your swatch and after. Most especially, and we were talking about this on Zoom earlier, most especially if you feel like you need to adjust your measurements, knowing your before and after blocking measurements will be a huge lifesaver for you. Even if you don't know, if this is your first sweater and you don't know what to do with those measurements, write them down and ask them in our group. That's what we're here for. I have solicited the help of quite a few sweater gurus. I have knit quite a lot of sweaters myself, and already there's tons of conversation happening. We just opened the group this morning, and I don't know how many people there are because I have been running around like a maniac. My sister Catherine has been maintaining the group for me while I'm running around dyeing all the things. But we have so many people in there trying to do their best to help you, and a lot of people are so amazing to volunteer their time to do that. So this is a great opportunity to learn that. For measurements, so let's talk about size. Since I just talked about gauge and knowing your measurements after you gauge, now you need to 27 people in the group. That's amazing. That's a lot. So if you guys want to join the knit along, I'll tell you all of the details at the end of where to find our specific group for lolodidit yarn and how that works. So let's talk about size. Sizing in Marie's pattern is fantastic. She is so nice to give us the finished measurements of the sweater. So you're going to look for something. So you're going to measure your size. You're going to measure your upper bust here, your around your arms here, your full bust, and you're going to want to measure under your bust. You're also going to want to measure from under your arm to the bottom of your hem of your favorite sweater. Those measurements will help tell you what size sweater that you should choose. Because she has the finished measurements, you're going to want to choose a size, unless you want something super skin tight, which I don't know about many people who want it skin tight. This is like a relaxed sweater. This is like a comfy sweater. If you look at her pictures, this is supposed to fit loosely. So if you want that fit, you're going to want 2 to 4 inches of what us in the knitting community call positive ease. That means that when you measure your bust size, so for example, my bust size is 46 inches right here across my bust. I'm going to choose a size of the finished bust measurements to be 2 to 4 inches bigger than that. So I chose the 48-inch bust size for this sweater. I have tried this on many times. It fits beautifully, and after blocked, it'll be amazing. I decided not to go up any more than that because I am hoping to lose weight after this quarantine is over. So I didn't go up too much. But you have the opportunity to kind of measure and get this to be the perfect fit for you. So make sure to do all of those measurements that it says in the finished measurement. If you are still unsure or you're in between sizes, you can ask our group. But 2 to 4 inches is a really, really good baseline. And if you like the larger sweaters, a lot of people love oversized sweaters, just pick your favorite finished size. If you have trouble picking your finished size and you have a favorite sweater at home, measure your sweater. See where, how big is the bust size? How long is that seam between your underarm and your hem? Measure those things on your favorite sweater and you'll get to know what you want there. I think I've covered all of those: ease, measurement of body, and length. I forgot to mention that when you're swatching, get yourself into the same mindset as you would when you're doing this knit along. So if you plan on being really relaxed and watching music, do that while you're swatching. If you are watching a really intense movie, I don't know about you, but my gauge really tightens up when I'm watching intense movies. So do that. If you plan on watching movies all day or binge watching Downton Abbey, then do that while you're swatching. So you're in the same mindset. You feel similar and your tension on your hands is similar, so that you get an accurate gauge swatch. Okay, I think I've covered it all. I'm going to pause there and ask, does anybody have any questions about swatching, gauge, measurements, sizing, anything like that? Because that's what I'm here for. I'm not sure if I see anybody. Okay, I'm not seeing any comments. So I will just keep going. Do you need to swatch in the round? I'd recommend swatching in the round because your gauge is going to be different if you are going forward on a knit and back on a purl. Your gauge knitting in the round is different. I know that my gauge knitting in the round is a lot tighter than when I'm knitting flat. So I would definitely recommend knitting in the round because the gauge measurements on this pattern are knit in the round as well, because the sweater is knit in the round. In a cardigan, you would be knitting flat because you're knitting back and forth, but on a sweater, you're knitting in the round. Let me see. What size needles did I use? Well, you need to swatch. Stacy asked, what size needles did I use? I used, on the body, I used a size 5. On the collar, I used a size 3. And on the arms, when I'm knitting in the round and a shorter circumference, my gauge is really, really tight, and so I'm knitting them on a 6. But that's me, and that's me personally. So I want to be clear that you guys don't choose the needle size that works for me. Choose the needle size that works for you. And let's see. I'm so happy. And now I have to hope I have enough yarn. I'm sure you have enough yarn. Daria, if you followed the amounts on the sweater, you will have enough yarn. And for swatching, oh, Trisha, you even told me that. Trisha asked, do you have enough yarn for swatching? Absolutely. You have plenty of yarn to swatch. Firstly, I don't think, if I remember correctly, I do not have the pattern in front of me, but on your contrast color, you're not using any more than half of your yarn. So, or maybe 3/4 of it. So if you're swatching and you want the majority of your yarn, you can and you're worried, you shouldn't be worried. But if you are worried, use your contrast color because you'll have plenty of that. And then how do you account for yarn in swatch? I hate wasting the yarn. I tend to keep my swatches. I know I'm a total nerd, but I keep my swatches. I love them. They're like little memories. My husband usually steals them as coasters, so I keep them, and you don't have to worry about running out of yarn because Marie more than accounts for the amount of swatching. Even if you have to swatch 2 or 3 times, it's no big deal at all. I just joined. Where can I see the sweater? It's right here. I should have worn it. I kept on telling myself I was going to wear it, but I am so hot. It is 92 degrees here in this warehouse today. So, but it is, I didn't finish. I mean, I'm on my sleeve, so I'm not done yet, but it's really cute. Let me see your other comments. Daria said I did. You have enough yarn. Yes. Cindy, you can order you can definitely order the pattern from oliveleknits.com. You can also order it on Ravelry. She does have it on sale between now and June 15th. So it is like an introductory sale right now. So definitely grab it today instead of later. Swatching is never a waste. I know, I love swatching. Who doesn't love swatching? And Carol said, so you said we spent about 60 hours in the sweater on a 4-day KAL, and I did the math, that's like 15 hours a day. Oh, I did not. So, Marie, Carol, you're totally throwing me off. So, I knit mine, the first half in the body, I knit it in 2 10-day days. So that was 20 hours. And I did not do the ribbing on the bottom, which took me a while. So I would say your days should be approximately 8 to 10 hours. I'm not doing it in 4 days. I mean, I know that a lot of people are taking time off of work or like actually scheduling out 4 days. I just don't have 4 days, so I'm estimating based on my crazy schedule and picking it up and down in between sending emails. So, so that was pretty good, Carol. Let's see. Trisha is laughing. Kim says, "What did you say about the measurement from your arm?" The measurement from under your arm, like where you split for the sleeves, to your hem is another really great measurement to take. That should also be in the pattern, but that is your length of your torso and how long you need to knit it. Marie says that this is like her hem is, I think she says 18 inches. I'm not really sure. Like her torso. And that is a really, really good average length. I would consider my torso average length, and that fits perfectly, and it hits my jeans right at the space that I want it. So it's perfect. But if you have a longer than normal torso or shorter than normal torso, you will want to swatch. Measure your swatch before you block it and after you block it, and you can do the math on figuring out your length. If you need help with that type of knitting math, you can always ask our group. With short sleeves, would I use the same amount of yarn? No, you would use less yarn with short sleeves. Marie said that this year expecting to be more than a 4-day class. Yeah, I mean, I would say that I spent more time on this sweater for the yoke and the torso than I did on the past cardigans. I've knit all of her 4-day knit-alongs, and all of those took less time than a pullover, but you do also have to consider that her cardigans are a shorter length. They're usually, you're not accounting for all of the stitches across. So this did take me a lot longer to knit than it did for the Beekeeper or the Foxtrot. How do you wash the Divine Yak? So with any of my yarn, it's the same thing. You wash it, fill up a basin of cold water with your favorite wool wash. I do recommend unscented, because if you're using some type of wash that isn't specifically made for wool, you could cause bleeding because the pH will change. I mean, that's kind of like nerd stuff, but I recommend an unscented wool wash, cold water, put your yarn or your sweater in the basin for 5 minutes and squeeze out the water gently and then roll it in a towel to block and then block it. So always cold water, always, always, always. With hand dyed yarn, you always want to do cold water. And the 4-day KAL starts on July 1st. Okay, so I think I answered everybody's questions. So now I'm going to go over the yarn bases and why my recommendations are what they are. All of this information is on my website, lolodidit.com. You can go to the very first link on the website. It says 4-day KAL, and it has all the information about the yarn bases. The first yarn base that I recommended is Divine Yak. And the reason why I recommended it is not only does this really match Marie's gauge really well as far as the yarn goes, but it's also going to give you a really, really great experience. This is superwash merino, yak, and silk. And because 30% of this yarn is non-superwash, it will give you a little bit more of that sweater feel. It's going to block similarly to Marie's yarn because it's not 100% superwash. And it's fabulous. It's just a really, really great yarn that you will love this sweater forever and ever because it feels so good, not only in your hands, but also wearing. I recommend doing the Naked Yak with a color, and I actually brought some here. This is Naked Yak with Summer Nights. This is Elida. I've got Blackberry Jam. What else do I have? Big Girls Don't Cry. So there's a ton of options. You can see them all on my website. You can shop by yarn base, and you will see all of the yarns there. If you go to Divine Yak, you'll see everything, all of the colors. All of them show available because I want you guys to be able to actually see the colors. So I made everything available. But for the 4-day knit along, now through July 1st, all of my DK yarns are dyed to order because there are so many orders coming in that there's no way I could keep those actually ready to ship. I'm just dyeing them on demand. Right now, our turnaround time is between 3 and 5 business days still. But the expectation for if you use the 4-day knit along coupon code, which is in my link, you can get all that information in my link. It could take up to 14 days. And that's just because I don't know how many orders will come in over the weekend now that everybody saw the sweater. So I just want to set the expectations that these are dyed on demand and we are shipping them as quickly as we possibly can. But you can see all of the yarn. Yes, I love the way it feels, Ginger. Let's see, your yarn arrived today. Shelly, should we get extra yarn? The recommendations on the pattern are excellent. So I would not get extra yarn. I would get exactly what Marie calls for the size that you want to knit. Kim, OMG, the whispers. I will need your advice on pairing that one. Oh, absolutely. I highly recommend Rivendell for whispers. And the colors you're holding are beautiful. Thank you, Sean. I love them together. The second yarn base. I'm sorry. Do I have any blue colors? Okay, so here's my dilemma. This morning in Zoom, I had a ton and now I shipped it. So I don't have any more colors. This is literally all I have left. So I'm sorry, but I did take a whole bunch of pictures. So if you want to see stuff, I did a lot of pairings before I shipped them so that if people ask for a pairing, I really tried to like match things up for them. So you definitely have to take a look. Naked in Narnia, right? I mean, it's so pretty. Okay, let me see. Did I miss anything? No. Okay, let me go over my next yarn base. The next yarn base, this is Divine Yak. This is the #1 that I am recommending. The second yarn base that I'm recommending is called Whole Lotta DK because it's a whole lotta. These are really big 350 gram skeins. They're huge. They're really, really fun to knit with. It's also one of my favorite sweater bases to knit with. This is a non-superwash Polworth in silk. And It is one of the lightest feeling DK weight yarn I have ever knit with. And it feels really great. The sweaters that I've knit out of this are some of my favorite. And because this is non-superwash, it will also behave really similarly to Marie's sample. And the reason I say that, and I said that when I was talking about Divine Yak, is because when a designer knits their sample out of a specific yarn, you want to choose yarn that will behave similarly to that, because they are measuring their gauge and their swatch based on that. They're going to recommend how long to knit the torso based on their swatching. So that's why I'm recommending Divine Yak and Whole Lotta DK for this as my top two choices, because it will behave very similarly. This is also a gorgeous, it's not itchy. For the person who asked if Divine Yak was itchy, this is not itchy either. This is really soft and silky, and one of my favorite hand feels to knit with. One of the biggest questions that I've gotten through email regarding Whole Lotta DK is, do you have Whole Lotta DK and a whole lot of less of DK? AKA smaller skeins. And I don't. I only carry them in 250 gram skeins. So make sure if you want to do this that you have another project. I do have a shawl pattern called the Manetherin shawl that does use Whole Lotta DK, and it's a weighted shawl pattern, so that would be a great option for your extras. So anyways, that's Whole Lotta DK, if you have any questions about that. Whispers is spectacular. I have some, but it is wet right now. I literally just dyed it this morning, my next batch. So if you would like a picture of Whispers, just email me, Susan, and when it's dry, I'll take a picture for you. And I know, like I said, a lot of people are pairing Whispers with Rivendell, and it is fantastic. It's really, really pretty. Okay. And I need a cotton blend. I do not have a cotton blend, but if you're looking for something that is lighter and cooler, going with something that has silk in it does feel a lot lighter and cooler. Like the Whole Lotta DK, I recommend this for people who live in warmer climates. I live in Las Vegas. It's hot almost all the time. And the Whole Lotta DK is a really great option for a spring or fall sweater, and not just a winter sweater, because it does feel lighter with the silk. And then the last yarn base that I want to talk about is Simple DK. Simple DK is my 100% superwash merino, and that is, because it's a superwash yarn, it's my third option. That one is it's not going to behave similarly to Marie's sample. So if you choose to use it, it's okay if you would like to use Simple DK. It's a gorgeous base. It's super soft, and I have lots of sweaters in Simple DK. But because it won't behave the same as the yarn that Marie had in her sample, I would recommend just being really careful with your swatching, measuring, or anything like that, because that it will make a difference. 100% superwash is a little bit stretchier than, like, when you're blocking it, it will go a little bit longer, a little bit wider than a non-superwash yarn. So all I'm saying is, yes, you can use it. Yes, the gauges work. I did swatch in every single yarn base that I have just to make sure that you can get the gauge. And just be careful. Just gauge swatch. Block the way that you would block your sweater, and make sure that you measure. So that's my 2 cents on that one. Let's see. Would Naked and Narnia have bleeding issues? Oh, your connection's choppy. Thank you, Trisha. Yes, my yarn doesn't bleed. I did go over this earlier, but I will just give you the short version. We are so careful to make sure that the yarn that we're sending you has the last rinse that we do is completely clear. So I'm never worried. I'm extremely confident that you'll have a good experience as long as you follow the instructions on the back of your tag, or you go to the link all the way at the bottom of my website that says Yarn Care. So Anna, I think that I answered your question. So thank you. The colors that I was holding is Amazed And this is Angry Rhino. Let me show. Yeah, Angry Rhino. So they're really pretty together. I did my beekeeper out of this. I love it. And I think we've been posting a whole bunch of pictures of the older 4-day knit along sweaters so you can see what they look like. My Stillwater, I did in Angry Rhino. So I think that's it. Okay, so let me go over and any questions about the yarn bases or choices or anything else, because I do want to answer all of your questions. That's why I'm doing this. Let's see. I don't see anything else. Okay, so let me talk about the knit along. So Marie she hosts a knit along. I don't know where she's having it, but I'm sure she'll have information on her website. The pattern's available on her website, and her knit along for the past 3 years has always been a challenge. Like, I'm challenging myself to do this in 4 days or 5 days or 6 days or whatever you choose. For me, all I want is participation. That's all I'm looking for. So if you want to time yourself, you're welcome in our group. And if you want to take your time, you're welcome in our group too. If you're a seasoned knitter or a new knitter, this is the perfect time to learn because you have so many people and so many resources at your fingertips for this particular challenge, to this particular pattern. So our knit along, all of the details are on my website. If you go all the way to the bottom of my website and click knit alongs, you will see the 4-day knit along, the soundtrack sweater, which is what the name of the sweater is, and it'll say admission open. There will be a link in there on how to join our group. Our prize draw for this is based on participation. So if you participate in the group, ask questions, have fun, encourage other people, post your pictures, then you will be entered for a prize at the end of this. All the details are there. The only requirement I have is that you're using 100% lolodidit yarn, so proof of purchase of purchasing a sweater quantity of DK weight is asked before you're entered into the full knit along group. If you have questions about joining the group or have trouble, you can email admin@lolodidit.com. My sister is helping me with that. Her name is Catherine, and she's been answering all the questions and admitting people to the group, making sure that you've got everything that you need. And if there's something that she can't help you with, she's been forwarding the information to me. So admin@lolodidit.com if you have any questions about joining the knit along after you read our knit along website. So if you go to the website, click on knit alongs, and you still have questions after reading that, then email. All of the prizes will be lolodidit prizes. So far, I don't know what will happen, of course, over the course of the next month. But so far, it's just me. I am doing this. I'm hosting it. I have asked people to be in there who are sweater gurus who can help you out. I've gotten moderators and all of that. So if you are using lolodidit yarn, this is a really great opportunity to join with people. I know a lot of people. I've been having knit alongs go on now, like in this manner, how I've been doing it with a private link for a few months now, and there's some people who have made lifelong friends in there. So it's really wonderful, especially in these times when you're not able to connect with other people. This is a wonderful group of people who are so encouraging. It makes me choked up to think about, because I've made so many friends and I've met so many wonderful people. I know a lot of you guys are in here, so don't let me get choked up. I love you guys so much. And if you want that type of group and want to be in that type of environment that people are so amazing, this is the one to join. You guys are so amazing. I love you too. Okay. Do you think I can handle both knit camp and your KAL for my sweat? Oh, yes, Kim, absolutely. We would love to have you. And again, I'm not looking for people to, like, it's okay if you don't finish. This is a no pressure, really fun group. So make sure that you know that we're not going to pressure you to get it done. This is really a social opportunity and a learning opportunity for you. So absolutely join in. Like I said, the only requirement is lolodidit yarn. So we would love to have you. Let's see. Oh, I love you guys so much. Lisa is participating both. I'm in knit camp too. I'm participating in both. I know Trisha's in knit camp too. Catherine is in knit camp as well. So it's really a social learning style group. So don't worry about being in 2 groups or 3 groups or whatever you want, knitting at your yarn store or whatever. We want to have you, and we would love if you would join us as well. Kara, I love you. Thank you. So, I think I have answered all your questions. Shauna, Knit Camp is a thing that Marie Green of All of Knits has that is a subscription based. It's a group to learn about garment knitting and other types of knitting things, wearing, styling, things like that. I would look at her website because it has a ton of details on it. So look at her website and see if it's right for you and see if you would like to join that. Marie is a great resource. All of her stuff has taught me a lot about sweater knitting. I've knit a ton of her sweaters. And I know a lot of people in this group have. I'm definitely a fan as well. I me and Marie have met quite a few times in real life as well as a friend. So I definitely recommend her patterns and all of the stuff that she has going on. So you will enjoy it, and you have a great group of people to cheer you on and have fun with. Let me see. Which yarns to choose? Oh, you guys are gonna have so much fun picking your colors. If you haven't picked your colors yet, let me know. If you need photos, I'm trying to get photos to everybody. I think I only have 2 emails pending right now with people who I haven't gotten to on photos yet. And what I'm trying to do is, if you ask me and I don't have it dyed, I really try to hurry up and dye it real fast for you so that I can take a picture for you. So just bear with me on photos. I definitely am doing my best to get it all for you. Big question, short rows. The short rows in this pattern are as far as I know, because I got the pre-released pattern. So of course I don't know the answer about the finalized pattern. But in her pre-released pattern to the yarn dyers, the short rows are optional, and it's similar to a ton of sweater patterns. I don't know how many, but a ton of sweater patterns do short rows on the back of the neck, just for a better fit in the front. But you don't have to do those. They are not 100% necessary. So in her pre-released pattern, she said it was optional. In the full pattern, I don't know the answer to that because I haven't seen it. But most sweaters, I don't know. You sweater knitters, do you want to chime in? A lot of sweaters have a little bit of short rows in them. So, and I like it. It fits so much better. Let's see. Stephanie, you're struggling to choose your colors. You have to tell me, what colors do you want to see together? People were asking if you can do speckled colors too, Stephanie. I don't know if that's your struggle, but yeah, if you want your contrast color to be speckled, I think that it would look beautiful. I have seen a lot of the pre-released sample people do a speckled color as the contrast color, and I think it's really, really pretty. So it's really all about what you want in your style. And I love the classic look. I think that this is super classic, and I love red. So I chose this, but you guys choose what works best for you. Yes, there's tons of people in the group to help you with short rows. Short rows are not difficult. There's tons of tutorials. The people in the group can help you. And then, it makes a difference in the neck. It really, really helps. Yes, Trisha literally just took the words out of my mouth. It really helps it fit better. So I recommend, even if this is your first sweater pattern, give it a shot. You know, try it out, and because I think that you will find that you'll be a lot happier with your sweater when you do it the way that Marie has designed it with the short rows. So I highly recommend it. And Catherine's choices are amazing. Yes, if you would like to see Catherine's choices, I believe she posted them on my Facebook group, and my Facebook group name is Lolo at Your Own Risk. And if you want to join in there, you can. I'm a new sweater knitter, and I'm learning so much. See, Kim, you are fitting right in with all of us. That's wonderful. Okay, so I think I've answered everything. Are there any last minute questions before I go? You guys made me cry, and now I've got like makeup all over my eyes. Okay, I don't see any questions, so all I want to say is I'm so thankful for all of you. I love all of you so much. And Natalie asked a question. No, you do not have to alternate skeins if you are using the naked yarn. I should have written that down, but I switched skeins right about here, and you can't see it at all. And honestly, I did contact the mill and make sure these were all blended together, but with the naked yarn, it doesn't seem like you will need to alternate, which is another benefit of a timed thing, so that you don't have to alternate skeins if you're using the naked yarn. But it's lovely. You should use it. Let's see. It's going to be so much fun. Yes, it is. Okay, guys, I'm leaving you. I love you all. Thank you so much. Thank you for your support. Thank you for shopping with us. It means so much to us in our small business that you're supporting us. It means so much to me personally that you continue to shop with me. And I want to always make this the best experience and the most fun that I can possibly make it. I hope you guys have a wonderful experience with me. So thank you. Love you guys. Love you. I will talk to you soon. Bye.